He said, "What is your exit strategy for your business?" And I'm like, "I just started my business. It's brand new. What are you talking about exit strategy?" So he said, "Proper planning will help you when things either go really well or don't go so well."
So in this new segment that we do is called Leadership in the News. So we try to identify things in the news that might connect to you as a leader. And again, we have leaders from all levels. You might be a leader within an organization. Maybe you're a CEO, maybe you're in management, but all these different things as a leader in any level or in any industry can apply to you. So in this one, we're talking about a lot of struggles that rural business owners are having, right? So what's happening right now, it says that advocates say rural small businesses such as hair salons, restaurants, and retail establishments were excluded from the U.S. 2.2 trillion relief package. And it was, we know that that relief package was passed on, but a lot of rural small businesses are affected. It says that pretty much it paid for a small business administration program to allow banks to waive 6 months of principal, interest, and any associated fees for small businesses with existing loans. But similar relief was not extended to borrowers with loans through the rural development programs. So you have a lot of people who are rural entrepreneurs, but they actually feel like there's a gap in getting that debt relief as well. So I want to kind of kick it off with Tyrus. I mean, I think that when we think about small businesses, right, you might have some people who qualify for certain things because they fall within a certain demographic, like maybe minority business owners and so on. But you have a lot of businesses that were affected because of COVID. I mean, your hair salons, who doesn't go to a hair salon? You have the restaurants, all these retail industries that are in spaces, but they were affected too, but they're not getting the support that they need.
One thing is definitely thinking about the end. When I first got into business, I had a counselor at the Small Business Development Center, and he said, "What is your exit strategy for your business?" And I'm like, "I just started my business. It's brand new. What are you talking about exit strategy?" So he said, "Proper planning will help you when things either go really well or don't go so well." So now things are not, they're not going well for small businesses. And if you don't have an exit strategy or a plan, then you don't know what to do and you're struggling. One thing you need to always be able to do is see a way that you can pivot in different downturns and market downturns. Now, for restaurants, they were able to pivot a little bit because they still were able to do carry out. And so while they're not filling up their restaurants, they're able to still make the food that carry out. You can pick it up. Hair salons a little bit more different. You can't carry out a hairstylist, and they had to shut down completely. So that was not going on, and it really put a strain on them. And so in your business, when you're setting up your business, you need to start thinking about the end. What is the end in mind? What do I want to do with my business? And what strategies can I put into place in case things happen? So proper planning, and then just having strategies to be able to make a shift when it calls for a shift. A lot of, other organizations were able to send their workers home and allow that work to be done online. So those businesses were able to survive because of the shift, just having the ability to shift.
Yes, and I think that's extremely important. And another thing, like if we think about situations like Groupon, what made Groupon very unique is that they were able to thrive in seasons like this. Why? Is because they found a way to bring struggling businesses together with people who were looking for discounts. So they saw that there was a gap. People aren't spending more. Businesses aren't making the revenue. So they basically were able to be like a third party and create these partnerships to be able to bring in income another way. So what do you think about that, Corey? I mean, what do you think about the importance of partnerships and how, listen, sometimes we want to do it all on our own, but what if these hairdressers or, these people who own these businesses started to connect with the retail companies, and maybe the retail companies, connect with the restaurant next door, and now they can create a partnership, and they maybe it'd be like, hey, you can get a haircut, go next door and you can get some food. And then after you get some food, go buy this shirt next door, and find those ways to come together as a collab like we have to be able to really expand your services to another level.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, it really comes down to community, right? And so you got to be able to be creative within that community. So first and foremost, for the people out here listening to this, like, so we talk, like, we got Amazon. I literally, my phone just went off because I got the Amazon packages come in. But don't focus so much on getting your packages from Amazon or maybe these big companies and whatnot. And by yourself, I think Tyra said, about a hairdresser, right? You can't necessarily maybe go to them or whatnot, get a voucher for somebody, right? Get a gift card. Like this could be gift card season for these little bitty companies. If you're a company and you don't have a way to be able to issue a voucher or a gift card, that's something that you need to start looking into, right? Because that alone can push your business afloat. So number one, right? That's money that you just got in. Number two, that's somebody that's actually going to come in. So do you have a system or a process in place to capitalize on more business from there, right? So the process of collaboration, the one thing I'm thinking about in Texas, if y'all don't know what HEB is, it's a grocery store. And so in the front of HEB, you will see like these random places just cooking, right? And then so sometimes it'll be connected to HEB. Sometimes it'll be some person that collaborated with HEB and they selling barbecue outside. They're boiling crawfish or something like that, right? I'm thinking about a lot of breweries in Texas, right? In Houston, they got people selling food. They got food trucks in front of them. So that's the creativity in the collaboration, right? So you want to be able to think about, okay, if I'm a hairstylist, who can I become creative with to be like, you know what? Maybe Corona haircuts are real, right? I need to go get one myself again. But who can I partner with that our businesses can align, right? And like successfully align. Like, don't be a hairstylist and you're collaborating with a nuclear energy plant. That doesn't have anything to do with each other. Unless you just pull up to the parking lot and be like, hey, I heard there's about 150 people here that haven't had a haircut in a while. I'm on spot right now. I'm just saying that's a business idea with somebody to take away. But you got to be able to be creative and build community, right? Something that y'all need to be doing right now as a business is really tapping into your community to say, hey, look, I'm going to serve you during this time. Can you please help, right? Like help. Just yell out help. Because I need some help in this season, right? I might not have made it to the Amazons or whatever, the Targets that's not closing down and all that stuff. That small amount of money may help you, right? Like, can y'all come up with a pop-up shop, right? I got a friend of mine. She's back home in Louisiana, and she came up with a pop-up shop because she sells makeup. She has her own makeup line, and she said, hey, I got these vendors that'll come in. We'll space the tables apart to be safe, but we're gonna have this little convention. Basically, I'm gonna do makeup. Maybe somebody do this bakery stuff. Maybe somebody does have a lawn service, right? Like what can you do to come together to be able to build these businesses up together? So it comes down to community. For those of you out here who don't have a business, support somebody's small business, right? Go buy yourself some food, not on DoorDash. If you're a small company, go put yourself on DoorDash. If you put yourself in a position to say, hey, I serve food, let me go dish out my cars or something like that, right? Let me give some free samples out, right? So you may be thinking about the money, but go ahead and put yourself in a situation for people to know what you have at that point. I actually found a few places over this quarantine time that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going there because the food was good. Never knew who you were though. But yeah, it's community. You got to bring the community in. You either get uplifted by the community or you go in and uplift the community.
Good. Hey,
Oh, I love that. That was good. I'm sorry. I just had to say that was good.
I got other things like for my children's karate school. A lot of karate schools closed because you couldn't come in person. And then you start having like their school pop up with Zoom. We'll do classes over Zoom and we'll just keep it going and we'll keep it pushing that way. And then I started to see more and more schools actually bring that in and take it to Zoom. So you have to be innovative. That's another thing that many companies are missing because we're stuck in the way we do things, the way that has worked for us. And so if you don't have innovation or innovative people on your staff, you won't come up with these new ideas. And for hair salon, I do have something for you that you could do. If you're licensed in your state and you have the ability to teach, make a course and put that thing over on Zoom. It might not be the state credential, but it will help those who want to get into hairstyling and those other things. You could teach them what you know on a course, and then they can maybe utilize that for some hours worked in the state office with their requirements. So it's just about thinking, being innovative, and going from there.
I love that. I mean, and I love what Corey talked about with the community. I mean, just imagine, I know that when I take my son to get his haircut, the barbershop there, they're really about local, like supporting their local businesses. So even the people that get their haircut, they take time to get to know them. And there's one gentleman who does like turkey legs, but then he puts things like mac and cheese and jambalaya and all this stuff within it. So now he is delivering food for those barbers who are like having people go in and out their chairs because they are not that mobile. But it's little things like that, like really get plugged into your community. Yes, we're individual business owners, but I love the aspect of connecting within your community to find ways. How can we work together? We're all on this strip mall together. What can we do to become really innovative? Okay, you got Zoom. All right, let me rent your Zoom for $199 today. Just maybe you don't have access to it. How about I can use your Zoom and then I can promote your services. Like, let's start connect as a community. And I think that is a great, you guys have a great opportunity to do that if you start to think about ways to be more innovative. So that's one way. And just like Tyra said, there are other streams of income you can utilize. Maybe you have a gift and a skill that you've been doing this for years. Well, about go online, find ways where you can create a course, reach out to people who are experts in that space and say, okay, I don't understand the technology realm, but educate me. And it could be just investing a couple $100, or even if it's $1,000, if that's going to help really expand your services and get you that support you need, because you might not be able to get government assistance, do that. But there's so many different ways that you can really expand your business services by becoming more innovative, but start looking into your community and how to connect more with your community, and also start looking for ways to be innovative and utilize those technological